Welcome to today's fifth grade reading lesson. Let's get started. The materials you'll need for today include a sheet of notebook paper, your pencil, and your reading textbook, the printout copies that we gave you last week. Everything else will be inside of your desk. When you're ready, let's begin. For this first activity, you will need your sheet of notebook paper and your pencil. So you can just put your reading textbook up in the corner of your desk. Let's look at the directions. We're going to take your notebook paper and with your pencil, I first want you to put today's date at the top of the page. Today is August the 16th. So you can write 8-16-21. The next thing I want you to do, I want you to give this activity a title. The title for today's activity is Week 2 Vocabulary. And the last thing I want you to do with your notebook paper is I want you to take your pencil and create a giant word clue meaning chart on the front. I've given you an example on the screen for you to follow. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you're ready to continue, just hit play. All right, scholars, I have a question for you. With your groups, I want you to choose the correct meaning of the word train. A line of people or vehicles traveling together. B, railroad. C, to develop with instruction. D, to get better at something by practicing. Go ahead and pause this video for your discussion. And when you're ready for the correct answer, go ahead and hit play. The correct answer was all of them. That is why looking at the context clues with our reading is so important. For example, you could have thought the train left the station at approximately 8:25 p.m. What type of train are we talking about here? Another example, you could have thought, she woke up early to go train for the upcoming competition, meaning she wanted to go and practice and get better by continuing to practice something over and over and over. We're going to use our context clues today to determine the meaning of our new weekly vocabulary words. Your context clues is what you do using either text or visual clues found around an unknown word. These are some examples. Today, we're going to be previewing our vocabulary words using photographs or visual clues associated with the word. Using those visual clues, we're going to come up with a meaning that we think means our word, and then we're going to check it and confirm it or correct it with the definition from the book. Let's get started. On our word clue meaning chart, I'm going to write a number 1. I want you to write our first vocabulary word, coward. Can you say coward for me? Coward is spelled C-O-W-E-R-E-D. And under the context clues, I've gone ahead and given this example. I wrote down what I see, and I see a scared dog or a dog hiding under something. Go ahead and write these context clues down as well. I have an idea that the meaning of coward should have something to do with these clues of being scared or hiding. When you're ready to continue, go ahead and hit play and let's uncover the meaning of the word. Coward is a verb, and notice it's telling me that if an animal cowered, that means it crouched or bent down in fear. Coward. The dog cowered in the corner when he heard the thunder. Great job using those context clues. Now, underneath meaning, I want you to write down the underlined words. Crouched in fear. Go ahead and pause the video while you do this. Go ahead and hit play when you're ready to continue. All right, boys and girls, your next vocabulary word is benefit. Can you say benefit? Benefit. Go ahead and write the word benefit underneath the word column. And then I want you to write down some of the context clues that you see. Pause the video, and when you're ready to continue, hit play. Benefit is a verb also. And if you benefit from something, that means it makes your life better in some way. For example, I will benefit from camping with my dad because I will learn many outdoor skills. Were you close with identifying the meaning of the word benefit? That's okay if you weren't. Let's go ahead and take this time right now to pause the video and write down the meaning underlined on our anchor chart. It makes your life better. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you're ready to continue, hit play. All right, boys and girls, our next vocabulary word is the word clan. C-L-A-N. Go ahead and write that word under the word column underneath the word benefit. And with your context clues, I want you now to write down what it is you see in this photograph. Pause the video, and when you're ready to continue, go ahead and hit play. Clan is a noun, and a clan is a group of people or animals who are usually members of the same family. Did you identify clan as being a group of something? Great job if you did. Make sure underneath meaning, we are writing our underlined definition. A group, usually members of the same family. For example, the clan of meerkats stay close together for protection. Think about a large family that you would describe as a clan. What makes them a clan in your mind? What are some good things about being part of a clan? The meerkats stay close together for protection. But what else would have you benefit from being part of a clan? Something to think about. Go ahead and pause. And when you're ready to continue, hit play. All right, boys and girls, the next vocabulary word for this week is restore. Make sure we're writing that vocabulary word underneath the word clan. And under your context clues, write down some of the visual clues you see from this picture. When you're ready, click play and continue to the meaning. Restore is a verb. And if you restore something, that means you are changing it back to the way it used to be. Go ahead now and make sure we are writing our definition underneath the meaning to change it back. For example, Mr. Jones is going to restore an old house in our neighborhood. What are some other things people can restore? Have you ever restored a broken toy? How did you restore it? Go ahead and pause. And when you're ready to continue, hit play. Our next vocabulary word is reconcile. Say reconcile. Wonderful. Underneath the word column, write the word reconcile. And underneath our context clues, remember, we are using our photograph and writing down the visual clues we get from our picture. Go ahead and pause. And when you're ready to continue, hit play. Reconcile is a verb. And if you reconcile with someone, you make up after a disagreement or a fight. For example, Jennifer wants to reconcile with her mother after their argument. Making sure you annotate, you write down the meaning of the word reconcile. You're writing the underlined words. You make up or to make up. Either would be acceptable. Why is it important to reconcile with someone you care about? What are some things you can say when you want to reconcile with someone? That's something to think about for tomorrow. Go ahead and pause. And when you're ready to continue, hit play. All right, boys and girls, our vocabulary word coming up next is enabled. Say enabled. Enabled. Go ahead and write that word enabled underneath our word column, underneath reconcile. And using your context clues, I want you to write down what you see with this photograph. Go ahead and hit pause. And when you're ready to continue, hit play. Enabled is a verb. And if a situation enabled people or animals, that means it gave them what they needed in order to do something. For example, working hard in college enabled Carmen to graduate early. Enabled. Go ahead and underneath your meaning column next to the word enabled, we're writing our definition. Gave them what they needed. Go ahead and hit pause. And when you're ready to continue, we're going to get started with our lesson for today. All right, boys and girls, I want you to now take out your reading textbook packet. Mr. Reck is going to pass out to you the one-pager worksheet for today. Make sure you're writing your name at the top of your paper and go ahead and look at the first box that we will be looking at today. And this is our quick rec. I've included a photograph of the next passage that we will be reading for this week. And I want you to look at this photograph of the cover. And I want you to think about the title and the genre of this text. Remember, we have been reading informational text last week, and we will continue to read informational text this week. Using this knowledge and the title and the photograph on the cover, I want you to write down the answers to the following questions in that top box. What do you think this text will be about? What clues or what evidence support this idea? And last, what do you want to learn? Go ahead and pause this video. And for the next 3 minutes, you'll be working to answer these questions. Set the timer in the classroom. And when the timer goes off, go ahead and hit play to continue. All right, boys and girls, let's look ahead at today's learning goal. Today, we are learning to use our graphic organizers to monitor your comprehension so that I can evaluate details I've read to determine key ideas. All know I can do this when I can use text and graphic features to determine the type or genre of text I am reading. I can use my TCD strategy to monitor my comprehension to identify what key ideas the details focus on and support. And I can use my TCD to write a summary. At the end of today, you will be able to summarize the section titled The Friendliest Animal. Let's get started. All right, boys and girls, remember this week we will continue reading and reviewing everything we learned last week about an informational text. Remember, informational text is a nonfiction because it gives us facts about a topic. The purpose of informational text is to inform about a topic or a central idea. This can happen by including details about the central idea, such as facts, examples, and evidence. We also include text features, such as headings and captions, labels, lists, and bold or italic words. Remember, text features are made up of what? Words. Informational text also includes graphic features, such as charts, maps, diagrams, timelines, sidebars, photos, and illustrations, or things that we see to interpret and understand. Our informational text is organized in a text structure, such as a sequence or an order of time, comparing and contrast, cause and effect, or problem and solution. And informational text usually contains content area words that relate to the topic, like vision or optical. So our thinking jobs today as we get started, we're actively thinking about what is the topic of this text and what do the details in each section teach me about the topic. We'll go through our annotation checklist for today as we're reading. Remember, we're going to circle the title and describe the connection to the topic. We'll underline the first sentence of each paragraph and rewrite it in our own words to show our understanding. We'll label each photograph or diagram with how it supports our main topic. And we'll label new ideas that the reader is taught about with each topic. Let's go ahead and begin our reading. As you read, remember, you should pause and frequently check your understanding. Good readers monitor their understanding when they read and use various techniques to clarify or clear up what they want to understand and make sense of new information. When a text is confusing, we should make notes about what confuses you. That's why our TCD is so helpful with our reading. We'll think about what we know. We'll reread and look for details we might have missed, and we'll look at images and text features to see if they can help us understand better what we just read. Let's begin by opening your packet to the first 3 paragraphs of our reading. Remember, informational text always begins with an introduction or paragraphs that give us background information about our topic. Let's read paragraphs 1 through 3 and identify our topic or noun that we will be learning about this week. Remember, we're going to underline our first sentence and look for keywords that repeat. And we should circle them. Go ahead and pause this video as y'all read the first 3 paragraphs and hit play when you're ready to continue. All right, our first strategy, remember, we underline our first sentence of each paragraph. Remember, a sentence starts with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation mark, either a period, exclamation point, or question mark. I've gone ahead and underlined our first sentence in paragraphs 1 and 2. And I'm going to read out loud each sentence and then explain to you how I've annotated them in my own words. Late in December 2004, near the town of Malindi in Kenya, heavy rains flooded the Sabaki River. I went ahead and annotated that sentence 1 sounds like it's going to be talking about a flood happening in Kenya. If I continue reading through, I know I'll be able to identify 2 or 3 details talking about the flood. For example, about rushing waters, that's a flood, swept a herd of hippopotamuses into the Indian Ocean. So I know this flood affected a group of hippopotamuses. Before the townspeople could urge the hippos out of the salty sea and back into the river, disaster struck. On December 26th, a tsunami slammed into the East African coast. Only one hippo survived, a 600-pound baby. So I'm being introduced about my flood, and I heard about a second flood happening on December 26th when a tsunami, I know that's a giant wave from science class, hit the East African coast. But I'm also hearing a lot about these hippos. So I might start seeing more information about hippos popping up and not just about this flood. Let's look at paragraph 2. Rescuers found the hippo stranded on a reef the next day and brought the orphan they named Owen to a wildlife sanctuary. Paragraph 2 is starting off by talking to me about the hippo that survived and how his name is Owen. I went ahead and annotated that paragraph 2 is about Owen the hippo. And if I continue reading, I find a lot of details about Owen the hippo. For example, I know that Owen immediately ran to the safety of a giant tortoise. I know that that tortoise, his name is Mize, is 130 years old, and that Mize means old man in Swahili. I also know that baby hippos and tortoises normally don't go together. But Owen the hippo cowered behind the giant tortoise and followed him around as if he were the mama hippo. I also know that Owen the hippo became companions with the tortoise after not too long. And if we continue reading paragraph 3, I know then that paragraph 3 is talking to me about Owen's friendship with Mizzy. The graphic features on the 2 pages also show me photos of Owen the hippo and Mizzy the giant tortoise hanging out together. I've circled the one on the first page for you. Make sure you annotate both photographs because they could be important with helping you understand your comprehension. So it sounds like after reading the first 3 paragraphs, our topic is about a hippo named Owen. Make sure we go back and look for the words that repeat to confirm or correct this thought. Make sure you've circled all the words about hippo or hippopotamus and Owen that appeared in paragraphs 1, 2, and 3. Remember, sometimes our thinking from the first 3 paragraphs might not be 100% spot on. That's okay. That's just when we need to go back and make sure to correct our understanding to make adjustments as we're reading and become more knowledgeable. Based off of paragraphs 1, 2, and 3, it does sound like our topic is about a friendship of our hippo and our tortoise. Thinking back to our title, how does the title relate to our topic? This idea will be our central idea of the passage. I'm going to create our I see and I predict T-chart. And let's add a couple of these details that we see and make the predictions about what our central idea will be about. I see on our title, can we be friends? I see a picture of two monkeys. I also see pictures of Owen and Mizzy. I predict this text will be something about either Owen and Mizzy's friendship or about animals becoming friends, since I did have a picture of two monkeys on the cover and not about Owen and Mizzy. So maybe the topic is just about animals and the central idea would be about animals becoming friends. What are some details in the text that support this idea about Owen and Mizzy being friends? Go ahead and pause the video. When you're ready to continue, hit play. All right, boys and girls, let's quickly review our strategies we just did to monitor our understanding throughout our text. What questions did we ask as we were thinking? Well, first, we made sure to make notes of ideas and details using our strategies of underlining the first sentence, writing it in our own words to monitor our comprehension, and then circling those details that backed it up. We'll determine the meaning of any unknown words we come across using our strategies, and we look at the images and text features to help clarify anything that we might misunderstand. Go ahead and let's continue to the next activity. For this section, what is a friend? I want you to read it and I want you to preview. What text and graphic features do you see? We know the topic already is about animals and animal friendship. So now we need to identify the central idea of this section. Hint, hint, don't forget to underline the first sentence and circle those repeating words. When you finish reading, I want you to answer the question in your next work zone. What is the section titled, What is a Friend, informing you about? Go ahead and pause, and when you're ready to continue, hit play. All right, boys and girls, same thing, but you're on a new section titled Kiss and Make Up. So the first thing you're going to do with your group, or independently if you wish, is you're going to read the section Kiss and Make Up. Don't forget, underline the first sentence of each paragraph. There's 5 of them total. Next, you paraphrase or you write in your own words what each sentence is saying in your own words. And then as you read each paragraph, remember you're circling those 2 to 3 details that support each key idea. Use that TCD to organize your details. Don't forget, look at the images and text features as well and determine or identify the meaning of unknown words you might come across. Go ahead and pause this video, and when you're ready to continue to the next step, hit play. All right, boys and girls, you've made it to the final paragraph of our reading for today. After after you read and do your strategies with the friendliest animal, in your work zone, I want you to answer the 2 questions. The first one, according to the passage, what are some of the ways animals seem to benefit from forming relationships with each other? Use details from the text to support your answer. Then, after reading the passage, do you agree or disagree with the idea that animals can truly be friends? Explain. Pause the video, and when you're ready to continue, hit play. All right, boys and girls, let's go ahead and close out our thinking for today. Now I want you to go back to the top of our one-pager. And remember, I asked you at the very beginning, what was something that you wanted to learn today from your reading? Go ahead at the bottom of your one-pager now. I want you to write down 2 things that you learned from the text. Remember, you can go back to your notes and your annotations to help you think about the specific details and key idea or ideas. Jot them down, and when you're ready to continue, hit play. All right, boys and girls, you will submit today's DOL into All in Learning. And using 4 to 5 sentences, I want you to summarize the passage, Can We Be Friends? Make sure your response explains the topic and the central idea, and include all of the details from each of the sections that we read independently. You'll type up this summary and enter it into All in Learning. Go ahead and pause the screen, and when you're ready to continue, hit play. All right, boys and girls, for today's writer's workshop, we're going to continue learning how to research ideas and select a topic for your expository text for our research project. You'll know you can be successful today if you generate or you create a list of topics that interest you. You can narrow down your topic of choice, and you can use research to help you select a topic. Let's go ahead and get started. Remember, our expository essay, our research project, is an informational text, and there are important components or pieces of an informational text. Those components are the introduction, which hooks the readers and introduces that central idea. The body paragraphs, which support your central idea with facts and details. It can give reasons and examples, and it uses an organizational strategy. And we'll end it all with a conclusion where we restate our central idea and leave our readers with one final thought. Let's go ahead and continue and look at our research project for this week. Today's task, you will begin your endangered animals research. First, go to Google Classroom to access your materials. You will use the research links in the Google Classroom assignment to begin to work on slides 12 through 17. This will take about 3 days to complete, so don't feel like you have to rush through. Today's task, read and take detailed notes neatly about the different animals. Use the given note sheets in the Google Classroom slides to stay organized. And again, this will take several days. Go ahead and set the classroom timer for 30 minutes. When everyone is ready, start the timer, pause this video, and when the timer is up, hit play to continue. All right, boys and girls, any time that is left over with class will be used to quietly, independent choice read your book. This is either a book that you borrowed from the classroom library, or this is the book that you have checked out on Sora. Great job learning today, and I will see you in class tomorrow.